In the last class, in the last video, we have discussed about how we are managing our category list, right? We have just created our category entity. Just a second, let me open it. So we have just created our category entity, and we have created some widgets, some functions, categories and everything, right? But we have done some changes also, like we have discussed, like we are managing the things in such a way like it will be a very user friendly, right? Like we are giving much options to user that he can select for as much data as he wants to add here. Like in this screen, where I have, okay, wait, budget body, yeah. So here we have added that that user can set, um, the user can see which which date he has set the budget, for how many days, for how much time period, with week, month or annual, quarter, right? So so yeah, so we need to add these things in our create category screen also. As I told you that I have created one video, but it's got corrupted, or I don't know what happened with that. So I'll give you an idea. But I have done the same thing with the like create transaction page. Okay, you can see here, add new budget category. So you can see here that I have done some basic changes like category name, budget period. Okay, so if the user sets the budget, it will be mandatory, otherwise it will be not. Okay, so we have to add some more fields here, like we have set the budget, we have asked the user for how much. Now we have to add here for duration also, right? So let me just copy and just paste it for budget duration. Enter the budget duration. Okay, now what we will do, we just go to our category provider and we'll add our controllers here. We have added category name. Okay, we have added category name and category budget, and we also have to add for budget duration. Copy and yeah, copy, paste. So we have to use this controller here, right? So we'll make it as consumer widget this, and we'll add a widget reference. Okay, and we'll make it by, we'll take some help from our create transaction body. Okay, so we have to just copy paste the code. Okay, copy and paste. Category provider. Okay, from category, and we have to add here category provider. Category state, we'll create our listener here. Category state, ये category state, and ये category state. Copy paste, copy, paste, and quick fix import, and we need to import it here also. Now we can just save it and we'll do a hot restart. Now we just have to make sure that we are, now what we have to do, we have to add controller here. Controller provider dot category name controller, copy, paste, category budget controller. Okay, okay. After that, we have to add here a controller with have a provider dot category budget duration controller, right? And we have to pass here state. Okay, state dot selected budget period. Yeah. This is a single string, and okay. Uh, okay. Let me add a function here for updating our selected, right? Void update budget period. State is equal to state dot copy with, and we'll have a period, copy, and provider dot p. Let me hot restart it. Yeah, we are ready with our code. We are left with our, okay, I didn't add any button. Okay, let me just add here. Let me just copy with, we have to do some changes here also, but firstly we'll done with our create category form, then we'll do changes here. Okay, I'll explain you why. Okay, so let me just selected budget period state dot, okay, we have to actually check it here. Let me just bool validate. Okay, so let me just bool enter the bool validate here. What we will do, bool validate form, bool is validate is equal to this. Cut. We'll just, okay, if budget period, no sorry, category budget name, no category budget controller dot text dot trim is not empty, else um, return is validate. Okay, we don't need to do else, because if a false or true, whatever the form will return, that is fine, right? If budget controller text is not empty, then we have to add a condition here. uh, if is validate, then okay, We can add this in a single state here, like if is validate and budget name, category budget name, right? Category budget name dot text dot trim is not empty, and state dot selected budget period is equal to null, then we'll make it as false, right? Because other are already having a validator function, so we can add there. That's why. Okay. Now we will add just e category state, e category state. Okay. Let me just copy, paste, paste, paste. Okay. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Okay. Now we'll have a add category here, and we'll have a category model. Now what will have, we have budget amount, category budget amount, right? Category budget dot text dot trim. Okay, we'll have a budget period state dot selected budget period dot index. Okay, I'll add condition. Wait, I'll add. Let me just firstly um, dot now dot to string and category name controller dot text dot trim. Duration, we have a category budget duration dot text dot trim. We have this as integer. Okay, uh, integer dot parse. Okay, and of course we will not add the id, so we have to add here some conditions. um, if copy dot text dot trim is not empty, if else we have to put it as null. Okay, this is a string value, it's a dynamic. Okay, so we'll just have a double dot parse. Okay, now same thing we have to do, copy and state dot selected budget period is not equal to null, if else null. Okay, state, after that we have budget set date here, if else null, category name is fine, and yeah, if else null. Okay, so we have only the category name which will be the mandatory, otherwise all are dependent, right? So let me just handle it here. Copy, trim we are added because if there any space or something, so that should not be the that should not consider. state should not be considered. Okay. uh, okay, we have a budget, and last, okay, budget period we I have added, for duration we I have added, budget we I have added, and yeah. Okay, so we can just have a start debug. 1 second, let me just do one thing more. Provider dot uh, I'm not okay. Create category, copy. And we can just have a, so now we just, okay, last thing we have to add a loading condition here, right? Enable state dot e category state. It's not start dot loading. Okay, let me just copy, paste, paste, paste. Let me just hot restart it and check. Now we can just add a new budget category here. Also, I'll modify here our sample budget data. Where goes our sample budget data? Okay, we'll just um, we'll do it after when we are done with it. Okay, let me just try to have a, okay, I didn't add any um I didn't add any key or something. Okay, let me just provider dot, okay. Okay, and I didn't add the auto validation also. Let me just add a auto v, okay. I guess I didn't add it that. So now if you just see, and if I just add something like um, personal expenses. If I just try to submit, I can't. Okay, there is one issue, because as we know that budget is not a mandatory, right? So we have to remove the validator here for it, because if user don't want to, so he can just avoid it. Let me just back, add a new budget category. See here, now when I just write personal expenses, and I'll just write here 1000. If I try to submit, then you can see please enter your budget duration. But also we can add a mandatory field also here. Okay, um, we have a is mandatory field, right? So we can add it, we can make it more user friendly here. See, copy, paste, copy and paste. This makes more user friendly, so user should be able to do that. See here, now it is, if I just remove this, then yeah. So now we have to, so let me just try to submit it. It is showing, just add a, suppose I'll add it for one um, month. Okay, also I'll make it to let me just refine it to we have a utility dot get display name e dot index, and just check it. Okay, so we can just add a Something went wrong. Okay, what's happened now? Let me check what's show here, debug console, and yeah. Okay, so we are doing, okay, we have to just hot restart it. Now we can just add new budget category. Now you can see we don't have. Now we can just add a personal expenses. Okay, and I'll add 1000, and I'll just select file, just create on submit, asking me, so let me add one, and I'll add month. Now if I'll try to submit, okay, what it is saying, database exception. Okay, let me check database helper implementation, and we have a add category. It is saying that, okay, we have a syntax error. Let me check with um 1 second. Do we have a category name? Okay, let me add a breakpoint here. Where, okay, user info and this. Hmm. Okay. Oh, okay, okay, got it. Many mistake, many mistake. I actually, there is a two functions. One is row query and one is query. If we are passing query, we have to just pass the table name. Otherwise, we have to pass the whole query here. So if I tap submit, and you can see, if I'll just remove, and I'll just checkpoint here, we have a map of, okay, and I'll just pass it. So it just successfully added, and it can be, okay. Let me just see, the budget is set on for 1 month. Okay, so it is working fine. Also our valid, also one thing we should notice here, if we are adding any transaction, suppose if I just create a new transaction here, I'll just write but mobile recharge, okay, and it's an emergency, okay, so I just put a amount of 19 rupees, and it's an expense. And for category, suppose I select, okay, it didn't select for, okay, we have to just use there also. Let me just go to create transaction body, and we have to just make it sure we have to create a category provider also. Category provider is equal to reference dot watch, and we have a category provider reference, and nope. Okay, so, and we have to also make, also we have to, okay, wait, we have to let me just wait, final category provider temp. Okay, I'll create a variable like this, and I'll use it here, and we need state also. So let me just create here a category state, because we need a transactions also, right? So We don't need a provider function here, I guess. Okay, we have to call the categories method, right? So I'll just add a notifier here, and we have to budget body, and we have to just use this code here. Copy, and I'll just paste it here. Okay, I'll just add a category state is equal to, yeah, quick fix import category provider. Copy and just paste. Okay, and let me just handle it here where we used to select our categories. Where it goes, yeah, rather than using, we'll just add a category state dot categories. Okay, we don't have to do things here. Okay, and I'll add one, um, I'll add one, let me check uh, suffix if we have to. I'll ask him for a bool value. Okay, final bool is loading. Okay, so we can just load our transactions here. This not loading is equal to false. Okay, and we can just pass it as suffix here. Suffix is loading if const center circular progress indicator, circular progress, else null. Okay, and I'll make it here is loading as state dot uh, oh sorry category state dot e category state is equal to e state dot uh, loading. Okay, let me just hot restart and check whether it's working or not. Sorry, I just, yeah. uh I don't know why it is not showing. No. State dot category state dot categories. Okay, e dot id dot category name. Then we should not use the sample budget data here. Sample budget data should not be used here. Let me just hot restart the app and check. And we have a ready state. Okay, and we'll just, okay, so we have a personal expenses here. Also, let me check the loader whether it is looking good or not. Comment is loading true. Okay. Uh, Mm, we should have a parameter for um, let me check. Yeah, we have a parameter here. Cut. It's looking quite choppy. Um, should I extend? No. We can do one thing. Let me just undo the code here. Okay. And we can just pass it here is loading. Copy and just paste. If we have const sized box, else null. I guess that would be good. Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay, so let me just remove this and we can just, yeah. Also, we are adding categories not listed, right? So let me just handle it. Um, I'll just add a asynchronous. Okay, and I'll just add it here. Final result is equal to. Okay, and I'll just add here if result is bool and result is equal to true. Okay, then we can just category provider dot get categories. Okay, I'll just add a await here, and also I'll will add a mounted property so we can just test whether it's is a nested or not. uh, okay, we'll have a context dot mounted, I guess. Context dot mounted, yeah. Now here we can just pass a function here like bool from create transactions page. Okay, copy final bool required this this dot. Okay, and I'll just have a final of bool required this dot. Okay, okay, and then we can pass it to our if else will pass a navigator dot pop and will pass a true value here. Okay, and we have to true. Okay, we let me pass it a क्या ये बच्ची है? Yeah. Okay, so we can just have a new budget category. or we can just have a add new transaction and it will reload, right? New category, temp, or we can just have a temp category, and we just done a submit. Something happened. Okay, there is some issue with that. Let me try. We have true. I'll just hmm, okay, is validate false. Okay, so our condition goes wrong here. So it should show some toast message, right? Okay, transaction provider, and I didn't add a else condition here. Let me just add it. Copy, and I'll just add a paste. Okay, E category, state E category. Okay, we should check. We can um, rather than putting that, we can just add this condition. I guess now it works. Let me just hot restart it. Yeah. So let me just add a new budget rather than we have a add new expression. Can add a add new category. I'll click. Okay, I'll add some personal temp expense. I'll add some budget here. So it's saying this, and if I just submit, please fill all mandatory fields. Uh, Let me check what exactly is throwing the issue. Huh? Category. Okay, okay, got it, got it, got it. Got the issue. We'll have a budget. Now it will work. Please fill all mandatory fields. What the fuck? Uh, uh, Submit. So it is true. Let me just hot restart that. Then it will work. Okay, 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 okay. Uh, Let me just remove this else condition. If condition and this. Okay. So now if I'll add new transaction, add new category, temp expense, and I'll add some number here. So it will not consider here. We can also make it disable. I'm not sure why it is not deleting here. Cut. Yeah. So if I'll submit, it will submit it, and we can see the temp expense. Okay. So it's working, and we can also make it disabled. Okay. Let me just uh, copy. Let me try. See, it's a disabled, right? It's still. Let me just add a condition here of for disabled. It should not be. Let me just where the enable param. Yeah, okay. Copy if null else. Okay. So now no one can select. Huh? It's still. Let me just go back. Okay, it is clickable still. Wait. Let me just make it as uh, enabled if items else no. Now I guess user should not be able to. Yeah. So we can do one thing. We can just ask the user, does he wants to add a budget for this category? If user clicks yes, then we can show these fields. Otherwise, we will not. Okay. So let me just check it. Um, Let me just add a category. Um, yeah. So we can just have a category state and show budget fields. Okay. And based on that, we can just show. Yeah. So now we can just add a checkbox here. State dot show budget fields. Okay. We can just update it here. Category provider. Yeah. We can just have a void update. Void update. Show budget fields. Bool show state is equal to state dot copy with show. We have a bool, right? And if we can just okay, and we should have a some We can add it in a row. Do you want do you want to set the budget for this category? So let me run the app. Yeah, so I have added all the required here. Also, I'll handle this thing also. If I'll say okay, and I'll do one thing also. I'll add a budget here. Is mandatory value, and I'll add validator here as well. Copy budget. I'll just cut. Okay, so let me just hot restart it. Okay, so now I'll check here. Add new budget category. Oh, great, great, great. Very good. We have to add some padding, I guess. Let me try with some default. Uh, 1 second. Let me just check. Placeholder. Okay. Place alignment dot middle. Yeah. So now, if I just click on it, it will show. Otherwise, it is not. Why it is so much gap between it? Okay, there are two side boxes basically. So if I'll just write it here as temp expense, expense 2, and just submit. It will ask, and if I'll not, it will submit. Hmm. Okay, so now it is working fine, right? Personal expenses. Yes, I want to 1000 for one. Uh, what's the issue with this? Is mandatory field show and enabled? Okay, validator we have, items we have, and yeah. Let me just hmm. Now it will work. Hmm. And if I'll not, then it will. I would say that it should show cut. And I'll just paste it here. I guess now it's look fine, right? So we'll do one thing we have to do now. Whenever we do any transaction, we have to I have added here one parameter, right? For if you just see here, we have added here a budget amount and we have budget period duration. But if we show up if we suppose if we done 1000 transactions, okay, and we show some pie chart. Suppose if user just open and user wants to see a personal expense, like how much expenses I have, like for personal expense how much I have set the budget and how much I have already expended. So there should be a value between, there should be a value where user can see it. Okay, if he did not want to show all transactions, he didn't want to see, he just want an overview, or he just want to just check how much he has spent out of its budget, right? So if that thing we that thing we have to implement, so we just have to add here one parameter. We can just add a here um, double, okay, total expense, okay, and same I'll add here with our SQL query also, and float, okay, total expense. Let me just, now we will just do one thing. We'll just modify our category here, right? Like we have to the category we have selected, right? Now we just done a transaction. Suppose we have done some expense transaction, okay, so we have to add that amount in that category, right? So we have added our parameter. In the next video we'll further code for it, we'll analyze the logic, and then we'll create a pie chart for it so that user can see an overview of particular expense. Also we'll learn how we can select the categories out of the list, like if user wants to have a check the budget, check the pie chart for particular category, like for personal expense, utilities, or any other, okay, so that we will also do in our pie chart, okay. So we'll discuss in the next video. Bye bye.